Hello, Hwa Chong students. Welcome again. I'm Mr. Kelvin Tan. Okay, in this video, I'll be trying to explain the concept of the marginal efficiency of investment. Okay, let me write on the board. MEI. Okay, the marginal efficiency of investment. It has been 2 years since I created such video, so here's a shout out to 13, S60, S62, S64, S6C, my current classes, and of course to the future classes that will also benefit from this particular explanation. To understand what marginal efficiency of investment means, think about the firm's decision to invest. Okay, what you have learned in your lectures is that the firm's decision to invest is based on the profitability of investment. So let me write on the screen. Okay. Profitability. Now, you have to understand this now, and you will learn more about this in market structure, which for Hwa Chong students, you will learn it in the second year. That what is the determination of profits? Okay, it's basically the total revenue subtract the total cost. Okay, this is the equation for profits. Okay, the TR minus TC. So when it comes to investment, okay, think of it this way: the total revenue of investment is basically the expected rate of return, okay, which is the amount that the firm can earn from these various investment projects, minus the cost of borrowing. Here, it is assumed that the firms have no money on its own. So in order for firms to undertake any investment, they can only get the funds for investment by borrowing from a bank. Okay, so in this case, the cost of borrowing is the interest rate that the bank will charge the firm for the loan. Okay, so let's be clear about this one. So once we understand this, right, think about the MEI. Okay, let me draw the MEI here. I put that quantity of investment. And here is the interest rate. So this interest rate is the cost of borrowing. Okay, so as I've said, right, the firm has no money on its own. The only way the firm can get the funds to undertake investment is through borrowing from the bank. So this interest rate gives you the cost of borrowing. Okay, the MEI curve slope down. Let's see what happens if the current rate of interest is, let's say, maybe 10%. Okay, 10% means, again, if the firm wants to borrow from the bank to undertake investment, it has to pay 10% interest every year. Now, the idea of the word marginal is that the firms will allocate its investment projects, will rank all the investment projects from the ones with the highest rate of return to the one with the lowest rate of return. Okay, so for example, if I can count the investment project one by one, okay, just imagine this is the first investment project, this is the next investment project, this is the next investment project, and let me call this project number 4. Okay, now we want to show that firms will undertake investment up to investment project 4. Okay, so when I rank it like that, it means that the first investment project used the highest expected rate of return. After you make the first investment project, if you go into number 2, okay, the expected rate of return is lower, a bit lower than the first. And once you are done with the second investment project, you're going to have another one, the third one, the rate of return is even lower. Okay, so all the way to the 4th. Now, I hope you can remember that this is very similar to the market demand curve that we have learned in microeconomics. Okay, do you recall the example I gave in class about Coca-Cola? Okay, if you can imagine this is like the demand curve for Coke. Okay, the first can of Coke gives you the highest increase in satisfaction. Okay, once you drink the first can, the next can, okay, the second can gives you a slightly less increase in satisfaction compared to the first can, and so on and so forth. Your demand curve, right, in microecon is actually the marginal social benefit curve. Okay, so you can see the word marginal and marginal. So these two concepts are very closely related. Okay, so let's ask a question. If the firm undertake the first investment project, the very first, okay, project number 1, can you show on the graph where is the increase in the so-called benefits to the firm? Okay, just like the market demand curve for Coke, right? The area below, okay, below the MEI curve from the 0 to 1 gives you the incremental revenue to the firm. Okay, so if I use letters, I call this A, B. Okay, what does A, B means? That means if the firm doesn't undertake any investment project, if they undertake the first one, the one with the highest expected rate of return, the increase in the revenue to the firm from the first investment project is basically the area A, B, 1, 0. Okay, which is this particular trapezium. Draw the shade of this. Okay, so I hope you can understand why if the cost of borrowing is 10%, okay, it makes perfect sense for the firm to undertake the first investment project because the increase in revenue is AB10, okay, but the increase in the cost, okay, because if the firm borrows this money from the bank, okay, by investing in the first investment project, it is sacrificing what it could earn in the next best thing that it could do with the money. Okay, so that's the opportunity cost of the funds for the first investment project. So in the graph, right, the increase in the cost from the first project is basically the area 10% C10. Okay, let me shade the graph to help you understand. Okay, let me see. Highlight. Okay, bright green. Now the area, this green area, which is the area below the, sorry, I think I okay, so ignore the slight green jutting out. Okay, this green area shows you the increase in the cost from using the money to invest in the first investment project. The whole idea of this green area is that it shows you that by using the money to invest in the first project, you are giving up what you could have earned your next best choice, which is this area. Okay, so from this, I hope you can see again why is it that it's worthwhile for the firm to undertake the first investment project, because the increase in the revenue, which is AB10, is bigger than the increase in cost. Okay, so in a sense, you can say in a likewise to the market demand curve, this firm earns a kind of a consumer surplus. Okay, the whole idea is that there's a slight consumer surplus. You can say A 10%. Okay, of course, you don't call it consumer surplus for this, but this is like their their profitability for investing in the first investment project. Okay, so from this you can tell that the firm shouldn't even stop at project number 1. Okay, because if you undertake the second investment project, okay, from 1 to 2, okay, the increase in the revenue from the second project, let me call this B. Okay, you can see, right, it's basically BB21. Okay, BD21. And the op cost for investing the funds into the second project is again the area below this horizontal line. Okay, let me show you okay, let me use a highlighter here. Likewise, right, if you use the funds, right, to invest in the second investment project, okay, the increase in cost from doing that, right, is still the area that I just shaded green. Okay, so in a sense, the second project is also profitable. Okay, basically the increase in revenue from the second project is greater than the increase in cost. And project 3, right, is also profitable. Why? Okay, the cost, right, the increase in cost again is this area. Okay, but the increase in the revenue, okay, is basically, we call it DE32. Okay, so you can see, right, the so-called profits get smaller and smaller. Okay, the consumer surplus in that sense gets smaller and smaller. And it's only the last investment project, okay, where there's still some benefit here. Okay, some profits here. You can see, right, at investment project 4, it is not worth it for the firms to undertake investment project 5. Why? Because now, let me call this F, okay, and call this G. Okay, At investment project 4, if the firm still want to go ahead to borrow money from the bank to undertake the fifth investment project, the increase in this revenue from the fifth project is only FG54. But at this point of time, right, the increase in the cost, the opportunity cost of making that project is now bigger than the increase in revenue. So that means at project 4, if it moves to undertake project number 5, profits will actually fall. Okay, so this tells you that the firm is actually maximizing the profits from investment by investing up to project number 4. Okay, so this is actually the well-known story of the marginal revenue equals to marginal cost for the final unit of the good, which you will learn, okay, as a Hwa Chong student, you will learn in greater detail in the second year under market structure. So I hope with this simple presentation, you can understand why firms will maximize the profits by investing up to the point where the MEI of the final project, which is project 4, exactly equals to the cost of borrowing, which is 10%. Okay, thank you.